Events leading to the revolution, the fourth period, United States history, prediction.
Narrator Cole Lafferty and Nate Palmer. Set Cole Kurska. Director Lane Marison. Camera Dwayne Fretch.
1765, in March, the Stamped Act is passed by the English Parliament, imposing the first direct tax on the American colonies to offset the high cost of the British military organization in America. Thus, for the first time in the 150-year-old history of the British colonies in America, the Americans will pay tax not to their own local legislators in America, but directly to England. Under the Stamped Act, all printed materials are taxed, including newspapers, pamphlets, bills, legal documents, licenses, dice, and playing cards. The American colonists quickly united in opposition, led by the most influential segments of colony society: lawyers, publishers, landowners, shipbuilders, and merchants, who are most affected by the act, which is scheduled to go into effect on November 1st. In January 1765, the Sons of Liberty, an underground organization opposed to the Stamped Act, is formed in a number of colonial towns, and members used violence and intimidation to eventually force all of the British stamped agents to resign, and also stop many American merchants from ordering British trade goods. August 26, 1765, a mob in Boston attacks the home of Thomas Hutchinson, Chief Justice of Massachusetts, as Hutchinson and his family narrowly escape. March 5th, 1770, the Boston Massacre occurs as a mob harasses British soldiers who then fire their muskets point blank into the crowd, killing 3 instantly, mortally wounding 2 others, and injuring 6. After the incident, the new royal governor of Massachusetts, Thomas Hutchinson, at the instance of Sam Adams, withdraws British troops out of Boston to nearby harbor islands. The captain of the British soldiers, Thomas Preston, is then arrested along with 8 of his men and charged with murder.
May 10, 1773, the Tea Act takes effect and it maintains an import tax on tea arriving from the colonies, which had already been in effect for 6 years. It also gives the near bankrupt British East India Company a virtual tea monopoly by allowing it to sell directly to colony agents, bypassing any middleman, thus underselling American merchants. The East India Company had successfully lobbied Parliament for such a measure in September. Parliament authorities authorized the company to ship £500,000 of tea to a group of chosen tea agents. December 16, 1773, about 8,000 Bostonians gather to hear Sam Adams tell then Royal Governor Hutchinson has repeated his command not to allow the ships out of the harbor until the tea taxes are paid. The night the Boston Tea Party occurs, as colony activists discuss themselves as Mohawk Indians, then board the ships and dump all 342 containers of tea into the harbor. In March 1774, an angry English Parliament passes the first of the series of coercive acts called the Intolerable Act by Americans. In response to the rebellion in Massachusetts, the Boston Port Bill effectively shuts down all commercial shipping in Boston Harbor until Massachusetts pays the taxes owed on the tea dumped in the harbor, and also reimburses the East India Company for the loss of the tea. On January 9th, 1776, Thomas Paine's Common Sense is published in Philadelphia. The 50-page pamphlet is highly critical of King George III and attacks lines to monarchy in principle, while providing strong arguments for American independence. It becomes an instant bestseller in America. We have it in power to begin the world anew. American shall make a stand, not for herself alone, but for the world, Paine states. On June 11th, 1776, Congress appoints a committee to draft a Declaration of Independence. Committee members are Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Roger Livingston, and Roger Sherman. Jefferson is chosen by the committee to prepare the first draft of the Declaration, which he completes in one day. Just 17 days later, June 28th, Jefferson's Declaration of Independence is ready and is presented to the Congress, with changes made by Adams and Franklin. On July 4th, the Congress formally endorses Jefferson's Declaration, with copies to be sent all of the colonies. The actual signing of the document occurs on August 2nd, 1776.